People who have walked out during a job interview, what happened? When I realized it was door-to-door sales, even though the job ad and the person I spoke to on the phone made it sound like a completely different job. If you have to trick people into interviewing with your company, something is wrong. I made a scene at one of these in front of about 25 other people, all thinking they were interviewing for a real job. I even explicitly asked him, is this door-to-door or Cutco? He said no. About 2 minutes in I realized and I stood up and said, you're a freaking jerk. I asked you, was this door-to-door? Thanks for wasting my freaking morning, and I left. I didn't look back to see what I had caused. I was too ticked, just walked to my car and peeled out. Accidentally applied to one of these the other day. It's not uncommon for companies in my industry to not put their names on ads from recruiters. I realized what it was when I got a call and my phone pulled up the company name. The job ad was for programming and project management. What I got called for was door-to-door sales. When I ignored it, I got a passive-aggressive email about not answering my calls. This was a life insurance company, where I applied to be a financial analyst intern in college. The first thing they said after I introduced myself was, your compensation would be entirely commission-based. We've found in the past that employees who target their family and friends have the highest sales. I stood up, said I didn't think I would be a good fit for the company, shook hands with the interviewer, and walked straight to my car. 10 minutes from the time I parked to the time I left. Shortest interview of my life. I was out of university for a few months and was looking for any kind of job since staying home was horrendously boring. I surfed through Indeed.com to find a part-time job where I get paid $15 per hour for selling water filters. I said, hey, not bad. The ad also explicitly says that the pay is weekly. I apply and get the interview. The interviewer confirms what the job post said regarding the payment, and then gets the applicants into a room to watch a quite lengthy presentation about the company, as long as a movie. Afterwards, we all got sheets to finalize everything and insert our desired working times. That is where I notice it. The sheet says something along the lines of, employees will only be paid after a filtering unit has been successfully sold and that we'd only get paid after a month of working. 80% of the interviewees just walked out, including myself. I told a lady I was serving ice cream to that I was in the later stages of applying to uni, and she asked if I wanted to go to a conference on the subject I wanted to study. Turned out to be one of those pyramid scheme presentations, and I politely sat through all of it, like 3 hours. She came up to me and said, so when will you start? I was like, I'm sorry, I'm pretty committed to my studies and applying to uni. She then told me my subject, theater, was a waste of time and I should drop it all for selling Nusk and Lowell. I was yelled at outside of the Glass House Tavern in New York City by the owner on my way inside to fill out an application. I saw the ads on Craigslist every single week. There was a reason. I looked at the bartender, and she looked like she was broken of spirit and happiness. I knew right then this was not the place for me. Answered an ad for a receptionist. End up at a table with 10 other people. Then the dude starts pitching a MLM scheme. I'm ticked, but it's summer and the air conditioning is top-notch, so I decide to chill there for the duration. Eventually the guy calls me on my non-participation. What's the matter? You look like someone ran over your dog. Well, guy, the matter is that you've pulled a bait and switch. I've driven from Point Loma to Chula Vista for nothing, and now you're talking to me when all I want is to chill under this winter wonderland AC vent. Then I walked out. When I was asked if I have a girlfriend, plan on marrying and having kids. Being 21 at the time, the reason was because I felt it was none of their business, and later found out that you should always say no to these questions. Would walk out regardless, because these questions have no place at job interviews. There were boxes of documents up and down the aisle floor. Bad first impression. The person greeted me with, so you're the old dude we're interviewing. Lasted about 5 more minutes and said thanks but no thanks. Stayed with my company, which turned out to be great move as stock took off and options helped me retire early. Thanks, young dude. Interviewed at a local restaurant in Hoboken, New Jersey on Washington Street. The manager, in the interview, pointed in my face and said loudly, and you will work late, and you better work hard, and you better be early, and continued to basically yell at me through the interview. At the end of her rant, I asked her what the pay was, and it basically worked out to about $12 per hour, $2 per hour plus tips. I was like nope and left. I had been doing martial arts for about 15 years and saw that my local YMCA was hiring a martial arts instructor. They asked me to write out a sample lesson to bring in. The guy interviewing me didn't know a thing about martial arts, and I realized that they had no martial arts program. I would have to build it myself. Instead of deterring me, I felt excited that I'd be able to do my own program. We talked for a while and I gave them lots of advice about starting a program, what to do with different ages, how to market it, things like that. End of the interview. I ask about compensation. He tells me they would be paying me $12 per class. So no compensation for planning time or anything like that. I literally laughed in his face and told him honestly that they would need to triple that to get a decent instructor. Walked out of there feeling pretty frustrated and tempted to send them a bill for my consulting fees.